in 5 very short minutes, I'm going to try to summarise the whole of what Commercialisation Australia does. So this will be interesting. So the centre of everything we do is the participant, the company. And what the purpose of Commercialisation Australia is, in essence, is to accelerate the pathway for that company from where they are in terms of having invented something new to where they need to be, which is that invention successfully deployed in the marketplace. And to do that, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, hence this very subtle metaphor. The first stage, what we build around the participant in terms of Commercialisation Australia infrastructure has 4 components. The first is funding, that speaks for itself, we'll come to that in a moment. The case managers, an expert network, and ourselves, the government. And the government has a role to play as well, and I'll explain that also in a moment. Let's go to each of those pieces and break them up. Funding. You get funding from all sorts of places in this world, but one of them is government, but there's a whole lot of others. There's angel investors, professional investors, strategic corporate investors. We facilitate not just by providing money, we facilitate by providing money and working with other providers of money in order to get the necessary fuel into the engine of these companies. The next piece of the puzzle is the case managers. The case managers play a very important role, but fundamentally we're talking about experienced business builders working with our participants to facilitate them in whatever way they need facilitation. It's not prescriptive, so we don't go to a company and say, you need a marketing plan, or you need this, or you should prepare this. We basically sit there and say, what do you think you need? How can we help you? And then it's up to us to figure out a way to do that. The best people to be able to do that are people who've done it before themselves. And so most of our case managers are people who have built businesses, who have been in the same position as the CEOs and founders they're trying to help. And their job is to figure out what that particular business needs at that point in time to accelerate its pathway. That's the best we can ever hope to do, is get there faster. But in saying that, that's everything. Because for a startup, you're only going to survive as long as your money lasts. That means you're in a race. If you can't get there fast enough, you will fail. It doesn't matter how good your invention. If you run out of juice and you haven't got sufficient traction in the marketplace, you're done. So speed is everything for a startup. So getting to the right people at the right time is crucial, and all the help you can get and marshal around you to get to those people is really important. The case manager plays a pivotal role in providing that sort of a resource to our participants. But then it goes further. So the next piece of the puzzle is the expert network. The case managers have built businesses, they've got some experience of their own, they work with each other to help the participants as well, but there's only 26 case managers around the country. So what we're doing is building an expert network which comprises experienced business builders, entrepreneurs, domain experts, professional investors, and crucially strategic corporate partners who are all interested in early stage deal flow. Those early stage companies that might make a difference, that they can either market make for, in other words, they can provide a channel to market for those companies, or they might even acquire those companies, invest in those companies. There's all sorts of ways in which larger businesses get involved with smaller businesses that have got a piece of their puzzle that they can complete their proposition to their target market. So the expert network is growing. We're up to 200 people on that network now, and some of those participants are really significant players in the marketplace. So companies like 3M, Procter & Gamble, plus a whole lot of very successful entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley, from New York, from Sydney, Melbourne, all over the place. We're collecting these people, bringing them together so that we can offer them insight into the deal flow we're generating through this program. And the value that that's adding is immeasurable, and you'll see a perfect example of that today, just what a difference the right contact at the right time can make for one of these companies. And finally, there's ourselves in terms of the government, what we can do for these companies. Once they've achieved something, it's really important that we let the world know what's going on. These companies generally don't get a lot of airtime in the general media. We have the capability through our PR machines, through our media people, to put these out in the marketplace and let people know just what success is happening. And it's really important we do that so that more people realise that it's very doable. It's not just the Googles of the world and you look and you see the multi-billion-dollar valuations and think that's some sort of fantasy land that no one could aspire to. There's real businesses making incremental progress, generating realistic amounts of money on their pathway. Some of them will actually get to be multi-billion-dollar market caps, but most of them won't, and that doesn't matter because they're still getting their IP into the marketplace, which is a good outcome. And that's the sort of thing we should be celebrating as well, not just once in a blue moon someone hits the big time. That's great, and that's really important to get the headlines, but there's a lot that sit under there that are still achieving really good things, and that's what this program's all about.